Hello and welcome back to Back Corner Comics. Today we are going to be discussing Epicenter Comics' amazing slipcase editions, also known as the masterwork editions of these amazing European titles. And yeah, let's get into it. So if you've been around the channel for a while, you know that we've already done a video on the Inspector Coke trilogy. We're going to be discussing this a little bit today. I mean, maybe not in detail. I kind of want to focus on the two other slipcases that I have here. Another reason why I decided to kind of highlight these amazing slipcases is that Epicenter Comics is currently running a Kickstarter for the Hombre collection of comics, and it will be showcased in a 2-volume slipcase. And I kind of just wanted to put the word out there. This is not a sponsored video to any stretch of the definition of that. I kind of just wanted to talk about, a publisher that I really believe in. I think that they're small and they're really pushing out these amazing titles. They're fast. They don't take 6 months to release, announced stuff. It kind of comes out in a month or two, 3 months. So, their main way of distributing comics is Kickstarter and then their eBay store. I've picked all of these up at their eBay store. If there is a slipcase that is kickstarted and there's leftover inventory, they usually throw that up on eBay. Totally recommend checking out their eBay. It's Epicenter Comics. I'll list it below in the description so that way you can check it out. And then also I will list the Hombre Kickstarter link so that way you guys can go and check it out and maybe support it. Looks very cool. First time that's ever been available in English. So is all of these titles here. And I just think it's really cool that we have a publisher that's really championing these smaller, lesser known titles with amazing artists and writers. So yeah, let's get into it. I kind of want to start with the kind of overall design of these slipcases. So you'll see that they all have this Masterwork Edition thing on them. I'm particularly not crazy about how they will do like a font on a white background. Here, this one is serviceable, but this one to me maybe could have used a little bit more juice, a little bit more style. However, you flip it around and you get this amazing Alberto Breccia artwork. So, I mean, it's really all up to taste and preference. Also, another thing I should know, all of these are limited quantity and they are numbered individually. This one is 393. And, keep that in mind when you're looking into buying these. So let's look at the other slipcases. I really enjoyed Inspector Coke. Like I said, there's a video on that if you're interested in my thoughts. Just so good. These are heavy books as well. They're not lightweight to any stretch of the imagination. And you'll see also the font here I'm not a fan of, but with the other slipcase, the Breccia and Carlos Trillo slipcase, the number has like more of a style, more of a font. Now this particular slipcase is massive. They could have done 2 slipcases, but they decided to, do one big slipcase. I don't really have notes on this particular one. I think it's amazing. I have not read the stories in here. I've read the 2 other slipcases. This is a kind of a bigger commitment, so I haven't sat down and really given it time. This is the most expensive one out of the 3. So something I should also mention is these are priced very fair. This particular one is $100. I mean, I think that's self-explanatory. You can, it has so much to it. And then this one is 65, and then this one over here is 63. So these are very affordable releases. And they're also important too because of the artists and the stories that they're collecting. So let's kind of just look at this particular one. This is the latest one that I've picked up. I've really enjoyed all of the stories in here. I'm a big fan of Alberto Breccia, mostly because of the mostly because of the Breccia library that Fantagraphics has been putting out. So Breccia and Trillo kind of work together on numerous things, and there's actually going to be a follow-up slipcase to this particular one. So maybe that'll collect everything they've done. I'm not particularly sure if that'll be the case, but yeah, let's get into it. So The Gray Traveler is kind of about this guy who is imprisoned, and he's able to project his mind into various realities, various time periods. Something that should also be noted is the paper stock here. This is not just like a white gloss. This is like a matte cream paper, which I think is very interesting. I don't know if Epicenter is following what they do in Europe. Whatever it may be, it is fantastic, and I really love it. I think it lends itself well to the one, to the stories, right? But then also to the artwork. Like right here, it adds so much more like gray values to the panels, which I really, really enjoy. One thing to note about this particular collection, and also in the Inspector Coke trilogy, is that sometimes the quality of the scans are not amazing. And, you know, that's because Epicenter is working with what they can get their hands on. So sometimes one page will look fuzzy, maybe the other one will look very clear. In this particular case, these are kind of clear. The other volume in this slipcase, A Certain Denari, has a lot of like low quality scans, and we'll get into why I think that is in a second. But yeah, this is a beautiful story, and it's wonderful. I really recommend getting all of these slipcases, but you should think about getting this one, mostly because of the artist and the writer. Here we have that illustration that is on the slipcase. Kind of want to move fast. A Certain Denari, this is fun. This is kind of like a this local inspector for this town. He kind of he has all these touch moments with various characters in the town. They respect him, some hate him, some revere him. Breccia's work here is mostly on wet media, which he's done in the past. Or they're not done in the past, right? All this is done in the past, but it's very common for him to work with, you know, line work and then wet media. I don't want to show too much here. Now, the big highlight of this collection is definitely the Nobody stories, which is kind of like, I look at it like the John Carey spy fiction novels mixed with 007, where you have these very slow moving spy craft, you know, machinations with, you know, then you get these amazing action set pieces similar to 007. He is a British spy. Here you have somebody very much like the lead in the John Carey novels. He's kind of organizing the circus. I also do think there is a reference to the John Carey novels, because Nobody works with a particularly guy named Clown. That's his code name, and he looks a little bit like a clown. Here he is right there. You know, lots of fun action. I love whenever these particular stories have these grease guns, like very cheap kind of weapons. You know, and Breccia's work here is just insane. You know, he'll do these things where he'll do these like bold, simple lines, and then he'll fill in the blank space with like heavy line work and stuff like that. It's really nice and very like refreshing to see an art style like this. I'm a big fan of his work in general. I'm just so glad that we have publishers like Fantagraphics and Epicenter that are really championing his work. There might be a time when we have all of Breccia's work here, which would be phenomenal. He is from South America. I think from Chile. I could be wrong. Maybe Argentina. Don't kill me in the comments, please. Good stuff here. Pulpy, fun, action, spy craft like stuff. This particular slipcase kind of gives you the gambit of all of these different types of stories. You get slight sci-fi, then you get really good kind of like uh, noir, but with a lot of emotion and stuff like that. And then here with Nobody, you get slow moving spycraft stuff alongside like big bombastic James Bond like moments. We're going to ignore the Inspector Coke trilogy for a second. The Avlar Mayar. So I have not read all of these. I read a few stories. They're interesting. Again, it's just a commitment that I kind of can't really commit to right now. But you'll notice similar names, right? Carlos Trillo, Enrico Breccia. The reason why I picked this up because I thought Enrique. I was like, who the hell is Enrique Breccia? Like, well, he's the son of Alberto Breccia, and his work in here is phenomenal. That's kind of like, this was a big blind buy for me. This was my entry into the wonderful publishing world of Epicenter. We already looked at the slipcase, so we'll look at these. These books are heavy, guys, and they're very, very high quality. I don't feel gypped to any stretch of the imagination when I pick these books up. As you can tell, they're nice, sturdy, and big, and they're great. They're home defense weapons as well as, books to enjoy and read. They look great, right? Like this looks phenomenal. If I found that at this store, it would pique my interest. Again, you can order these from their eBay. Oh, here's a bookmark. I believe that's from the local library. We're kind of messy here at the Back Corner Comics HQ. And you always get these little essays in the front. I'm going to flip through this really quickly. This is his sidekick. He's this Aboriginal guy. He's really cool. I believe this is like a Indiana Jones-like pirate character who gets ladies and travels the world. Okay, we'll look at one more and then we'll kind of call it. If you guys have not heard of Epicenter Comics, look into their slipcases. They also publish standard size comics and various things. I believe they currently have the Dylan Dog license, so they have a lot of Dylan Dog releases. They also have Westerns. Tex is one of them. I have a volume of Tex called Captain Jack. We'll look at that one day. I just need to finish reading it. Enrique is really good. He's a little bit more like Mobius than Alberto, but it's still just fantastic work, This might be the closest we get to something like, a Blueberry release here. Like look at that. You can see the obvious Mobius love, but it works so well. It doesn't feel like a knockoff. It feels like it's very much his own art style. Beautiful work. Epicenter Comics is just knocking it out of the ballpark with all of these releases. I can't wait to see what Hombre has, in stock. And I think we have so many great titles to choose from, so many great publishers to buy from. And I just really think we're lucky. If you like European stuff, if you like indie stuff, we're just in the golden age, really, of comics. And I'm very happy that I've, decided to pick these up. And I'm looking forward to the Hombre collection and the Kickstarter. That will be listed below in the description for those that are interested. I will also list their eBay store, like I said. So this is kind of all of the Epicenter slipcases that I have now. Maybe as others come out, I will do reviews on them. I do want to do a dedicated video for each of these, maybe one day. The goal of this was to just really, talk about Epicenter, talk about the quality, talk about the slipcases. because we have that Hombre collection coming soon. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. This is Back Corner Comics, and I'll see you guys on the next one.